In the very recent past, summer 2020, there was a guy named Steve Gelbs with SNY, Lyft, and Citi. Steve led the online crew. The players watched the whole game through. The greatest team in history got together for the Citi by JT.
Let's go Mets!
John Harper added his point of view. A Mets fan born to drink some brews. Being out of work is really lame, and so he moved on. So he moved on. So he moved all of the boxes and he sunk them to the game. Let's go, Mets, go!
Oh, yeah! Aggies plate. Wear it.
Got him.
If you're wondering why he did all this and other stuff like that, just repeat to yourself, he's a Mets fan, and we all could use a laugh.
Later on, you start understanding and recognizing he had a straight fastball. You just had to be disciplined. You had to make him get the ball down. And, you know, anything up, he was going to beat you. And
Right.
I think that was the biggest challenge for all of us, you know, is laying off the fastball up, because a lot of us are like fastball hitters, and we look for those pitches, but Clemens had just a little bit more on his fastball, so it was very challenging to be able to catch up with his fastball.
We had the no-hitter through 4. While we're in the commercial break, Ron, this is a question from David on Facebook. He wanted to know, how did you deal with the rain out before Game 7?
Well, you know, it's like you get restarted twice for a game. Obviously didn't deal with it very well because I only went 4 innings or whatever I went. You know, it's Bobby described it the best. You know, it is such a pitching in the postseason is so tough because it's the unknowing, you know, and you got so many emotions running. And this is, for me, it was the 3rd time I would face them in 10 days.
That's tough.
They were a veteran team, a smart team. And, you know, I just, you know, I didn't have, I shouldn't say I didn't have my A game. Sometimes the hitters just take you out of your game. And that's what happened to me in Game 7. So, but, you know, you can't blame it on a rainout. Rainouts happen all the time. It's just restarting and getting prepared for a game. You know, you have your whole entire day of getting ready for a game, and to redo that's not always your favorite, but that's part of being a big league player.
And then single to left in the 2nd. He has hit in all 6, but has not scored a run. There's another base hit for Barrett.
Barrett again.
And he's 2 for 3.
Another hit.
Yeah, he took the fastball down the middle, and then he just jumped all over that high changeup. But yeah, he's a good hitter. Never ever came out of his game. You were talking about getting out of your game, how they kind of maybe, you know, kind of got you out of your game a little bit. He never got out of his game. It's hard to get in his head.
Bobby, when you're his former teammate, you were saying before he was such a smart hitter, and you were thinking that he was thinking along with you. What about the mental game from your perspective then, of trying to stick to your game plan and not overthink what he's probably thinking about?
That's a good way to put it too, Steve. That's exactly right. It's like, as a pitcher, I know what I want to do, and I got to be in my game. There are times when I have to adjust to that and sort of come out of my game on a pitch or two, because that'll blow his mind a little bit. If I can blow his mind a little bit, and he's thinking, now he's completely changed his approach, that'll give me an advantage. But it's a good question. Good way to put it.
It was like the meeting of the minds, huh, Bobby?
Yeah, you know, the game of the game running, and it's so hard to describe, but if we really put our heads together, we can come up with it. It's you have your game plan, but you have to be able to adjust along the way, but not get too far away from who you are. Don't get beat on pitches that not who you are. You have to. Yeah. You have to. If you got to go to the bank, you got to go to the bank, and just hope you execute it better than he swings.
Does him being kind of the hot hitter in the series play into that at all? When you recognize how hot a guy is in the series?
Yes. Yeah, John. You know when a guy's on fire. When a guy's on fire, he's not only hitting the mistake, he's hitting the good pitch. He's locked in, like Keith was saying. His swing was a little bit off. He wasn't quite there this whole series. You can see that from the mound too. When a guy is as good as Keith, when he's missing pitches, I'm like, oh man. When I throw it and he misses it, I'm like, okay, I got a chance. But he was so locked in. He's hitting the good pitches. He's hitting the mistakes, and that's the dangerous guy. When you say, anybody in the lineup can beat you. That guy is the guy who could beat you. He comes up at the wrong time with a bunch of people on. That's not what you want.
And Evans really choked up on the bat, huh?
Well, that blazing fastball from Bobby O.
I was frozen. I'm sorry. I didn't...
Frozen.
Are you feeling settled in at this point? I know your arm's still hurting, but are you feeling settled in that you got through those first couple innings were kind of rough?
Yeah, you're right, Harp. You got to survive. If you can survive the innings that could get away from you, it gives you a sense of like, okay, all right, maybe the worst is gone. Keep going one at a time because this guy could hit, and he was a very strong competitor, strong personality. There was a definite personality conflict in this at bat and all our at bats with him. I liked him. I respected him as a player, but there was a little bit of animosity because he really wanted me, but I really wanted him as well. So I know he's ready for me here, but I'm ready for him.
On guard.
He's really thinking along with me. He was a smart hitter too. Yeah. He's really thinking. He knows me well. He's known me for 5 years, so he's really setting on pitches. And when a guy sets on a pitch, sometimes that's when you can blow his mind. You throw that pitch. I know he's setting on this, but I'm going to blow his mind and throw something different. And then all of a sudden you see him be a little confused.
That should have been.
What was that?
That should have been a strike. What was that about?
What is that about?
Hey, Rafi, right here, you've got some meetings. You call a meeting first with Ojeda Carter, and then you go up back and talk to Backman. Is that switching signs?
No, we were talking about what was coming, whether we're going to pitch the guys. Yes, yeah. We always stay together in the middle of the infielders, and who we talk about who pulled the ball, who didn't pull the ball. How this guy hit the situation.
How many beers, Boggs drinks.
That's okay.
Almost all sliders and breaking balls, huh, Bobby-O?
Yeah, and that slow curveball. And when the pitchers come out, when the players come out, they want to know how you're going to work them too. I'm sure Rafi, that came out. How you going to work them? I'm going to be breaking balls again, or something like that. Gives your infielders a chance to get a half a step in anticipation of what's coming. But Getty's been out front all day. I love him like a brother, still do. But this was personal too. But I wanted him so bad. And when we laugh about that pitch because I hung it and he was doing that Walt Riniak thing trying to go the other way. He should have hit that to the upper deck. To this day, he remembers that.
You guys put little speed bumps? I've been doing that since college.
Commercial break, so let's get some more fan questions here. Sure. This really for anybody. Elizabeth wants to know your favorite Gary Carter moment from this series.
Here's a little tribute. R.I.P. Gary. Kid.
I think for me, because I started that game, it helped me get a win. Is his 2 home runs in Game 4. I mean, the ball he hit off Steve Crawford,
hasn't landed yet.
Everything onto the parking garage over Lansdowne Street. So that 2 home run game, and you have to remember, Kid, it was with a great team in Montreal. They never went to the World Series. Came to us, was going to be the difference maker. And, he practically won that game by himself.
Yeah. You said that good, Ronnie, because that was a great shift for us because we needed that. We needed somebody to, really actually step up big in the lineup, and Kid stepped up big Game 4, really got us going. And, that was a big ball game for us, back down in Boston because we were on the road too. So.
And his catching in Game 3. Catchers and pitchers have a symbiotic relationship if it's a great catcher, and I had a Hall of Famer behind me, in front of me. When we were down 2 going into Boston, he was 100% a sense of calm. There was no sense of panic with him. And I could feel that as a pitcher if my catcher's panicking, and he could feel it in me if I'm panicking. And we went through that together. We shouldered it together. And he was a huge part of the success of winning Game 3. Huge.
You know what gets lost in Game 7 is, you know, everybody remembers my hit. And I think, what did that tie the game, John? I forget.
I think so.
No, I think it made it 3-2. I think it made it 3-2.
Carter got a base hit, but it wasn't a base hit behind me that put us ahead. And Evans came in and dove for the ball. And we had a runner on, it was first and third, I believe. I'm not sure the situation. But when Evans dove for it, he rolled over it, and his body was like sprung out from the foul line, first base foul line towards left field, and he didn't catch the ball, but his body, I didn't see the ball behind him on the ground. We had the right field umpire, which is the home plate umpire here, didn't make a quick call, and I couldn't get doubled up. If I get doubled up to sacrifice fly, that guy doesn't score. So I wound up getting forced out at second base because I couldn't make a move one way or the other. I couldn't advance until I saw the ball, whether it was caught or on the ground. So Gary really got a base hit. It was just unfortunate that wasn't a base hit, but I'm sure, you know, that hit put us in the lead for good. I think. I forget those. No, they took the lead again.
Straw, you look very comfortable here, Straw.
Yeah, you're laying off a lot of pitches on him.
A lot of high pitches.
Yeah, high fastballs. Like I said, Clemens liked to keep the ball up. And like I said, he was throwing hard that night. And, you know, he kept chasing a couple bad pitches up in the zone. That's why I kept hitting and following off going the other way.
He didn't want to mess with you that night, I'll tell you that, just from watching this game.
That's a pitch right there, right?
Yeah. The way he swung the bat the first at bat, he was taking some big rips.
I mean, this is the first time I've watched this game, and he wanted no part of you on that pitch. None.
Yeah, I mean.
So you're asking for signs again here, Darryl?
Yeah, I was asking for the sign there, looking over the third.
At what point did you know you were going?
Well, you got to make your mind up, you know, in a situation, you know, you look at the game, you know, we're down 2-0 right now, you know, so you really just don't want to, you know, put the team in a bad situation when we're trying to get back in the ball game, because you're facing a guy like Clemens who's not going to give up many runs, which it looks like, you know. So when you're in that type of situation, you just got to make sure if you're going to take a bag, you got to get there.
Looked like a pitch to hit there.
Ray had a nice cut in that ball.
Yeah, just away enough, huh?
You notice that, you know, his fastball has life. We're fouling a lot of balls up, fouling straight back and fouling them back.
Yeah. Fastball had some hop on it.
Some giddy up. High fly ball, deep down the right field line. If it stays fair, the Mets win the ball game. Foul ball.
That's your fans down the right field line, Straw.
None of those.
I mean, they had plenty to say all the time, didn't they?
Boy, they had a lot to say all the time. You know, I love them. You gotta love them.
Of course.
That's the thing about our fans. You know, people say what they want, but our fans were great in the '80s for us. You know, the way they supported us, and you know, they rallied us. Into being great. You know,
yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
You know, Straw, they started doing the Roger chant after the Game 5 up in Boston. They were giving you the Darryl chant. You know, the Shea fans had to rally behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were on you pretty good in Boston, right?
Yeah, Mex tried to keep me together when I was in Boston because they were all over me. He was like, just go, just don't pay attention, you know. It's like,
well, it was nothing like that idiot in Atlanta. You remember when we got him?
I want to hear.
Yeah. Man.
That's an old story. This guy was drunk with his buddies. It was a day game, and he was just unmerciful on Darryl.
Yeah.
And we got him. He lost the school.
Oh, man.
Did you?
Like Raffy, where you forgot how?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been an out right there.
He
Tagged
dropped
him
the
on
ball.
Dropped
I
the
want to
ball.
hear
Or
specifics.
Base.
Hey, Straw, in that at bat, when you took that bag, were you thinking about that breaking ball or you just took a shot?
I just took a shot. I mean, he had
he
threw in 2
dropped it.
fastballs. Yeah, he threw in 2 fastballs in that situation. And Ray kind of fouled it off. And I kind of thought maybe he might be throwing an off-speed pitch,
Yeah, I thought that was
I
smart.
Because I didn't really learn until later, about catcher setup. Max started teaching me about the setup and the catches and stuff like that. And you could, know off-speed pitches and fastballs. And, he taught me a couple things there. And, as a hitter, and I think that's why I was successful in some certain situations in big games, like in the playoffs, you got, there you go, Big Ray come through.
Oh.
I've never seen that, but that was just a heads-up base running, man. When you took that bag after 2 heaters and there's a slider in the dirt. That was awesome. I've never seen that. That was awesome.
By the way, that was a pitcher's pitch. That's a good pitch.
By the way, this is what we're here for.
Was a good pitch. Yeah, Ray hit up the middle. Yeah,
Ray could hit.
Yeah, he could, and he was tough, Max.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
He was tough. Ray battled, man.
Look at him.
Is that our first hit right there?
That was our first hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Get
Were
fired
you
up,
aware
Ray.
at the time that you were being no hit?
Sure.
I was.
Sure.
You didn't trust your hitters, eh?
Yeah, I was.
I'm like, come on, man.
By the way, that was a question from Steve on Facebook. Robert asks, actually, given that Clemens was pitching so well, though, was there anybody on the bench that is walking up and down trying to boost morale at that point, or are you guys so locked in on the game, Keith?
I think we were just locked in. It didn't.
Yeah.
Rah-rah. Everything's on the line here. We got to win 2, and we got to win this game to get the game 7.
We got to win this game.
Everybody was intense and focused.
You know what else is intense?
There's that high fastball. Tough to lay off.
Yeah.
Mookie was the most amazing player, wasn't he, guys? He could have a stretch where he struggled for a while, and then he could go 9 for 12 in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and he can just about hit any pitch too. When he he was on, but when he was off, just like most hitters. But when he was on, you can bounce it up there and he'll hit it.
Well, he said when he was slumping that dinosaurs believed in him.
He never talking about going good or bad. If he was going bad, you didn't know the difference. He still was hustling, still give you all he had, even if he was struggling. Never.
Yeah. I always say that he's the classiest guy I ever played with, Mookie Wilson.
We are expecting to have Mookie later on in the game. He played a little role in this one, so
Yeah.
we do need to hear from him a little bit later
I
on.
see what you did there.
This is a good at bat, though. He fell behind 0-2, works his way back in.
It was a good swing there.
Watching,
we had more clubhouse kids on the bench than any team in the history of the game.
There's Vincent right there. He's the one who said that about Yaz right there. He was a beauty, man. Oh,
Finally gets his hands right.
he retried. He retired. Oh my God.
Oh, he's got 90 pitches.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot up a flare. Hit the bullpen up.
Fire somebody up. Hello, bullpen.
Anyway, Mook.
Oh,
Notice that
Mook.
both base hits were on breaking balls.
Yeah.
That was huge. Allow me to get third.
Yeah.
Hey,
big
Strad,
play.
Dewey Evans got
Yeah.
a little taste of the bounces out there in right field at Shea Stadium.
Yeah. Just that whole outfield was
Oh, boy.
tough out there. See.
The California players used to call the outfield at Shea Lake Shea.
Yeah, the California players. Yeah, don't remind us about those guys out there in LA. They beat us with heartbrokers,
Yeah.
With a Roscoe.
Daryl, by the end of your career, had the Fields gotten to where they are right now, or did that happen more recently?
A lot more turf. A lot more acid turf.
Hey, McNamara.
Yeah, it was more
Bobby O
astroturf.
hates
Yeah.
you.
But our field was like, it was always in bad shape, you know. They took care of the infield. I mean, Mex made sure they took care of that, right?
Yeah.
They took care of that, you know. It was great. The infield was great to say. Yeah.
But on those wet days, it was like a marsh out there, like a bog.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. The manager, not the pitching coach, came out.
I was gonna ask you that. Why do you think McNamara went out there?
It's World Series, Game 6.
But he's facing Ralphie. Right? Ralphie coming up in the situation, right? First and third.
He pinch hit for
They
him.
pinch hit for him. They pinch hit Heap there.
This is the first appearance by one of the Scum Bunch.
Scum Bunch!
So, Ralph, how did you feel about... Is Ralphie still here? He's gone? Okay.
You lost Ralphie.
Yeah.
He probably didn't want to see him getting pinch hit. Daryl, you get yanked from this game.
Oh, don't remind me, Max.
I'm just glad Keith did it, so we don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Bobby O's out of here after 6. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns also pinch hit for Daryl.
You guys surprised at all in that moment that they pinch hit for Ralphie?
No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
We had to get back in the game. It was the 5th inning right now, or fifth?
Yeah, 5th inning. Yep.
And we had Elster on the bench, and Elster was a very good defensive player.
Right. So everybody doesn't remember what a great bench we had. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, we had an awesome bench.
Yep.
And Danny
that Tuffle, right? I mean,
it was either Tuffle or
Tuffle. Yep.
Speaking of, how about that for an appearance? Tim Tuffle has joined us.
Tuffle.
Tuffy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Where are you?
Tuffy, put on the helmet.
Yeah, the Tuffy Shepard.
What's going on?
Everything's good.
Bobby O, you were dealing.
Yes, I was, my friend.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby, if Heap doesn't get this run in, are you coming out of the game and they pinch hitting for you?
I'm on deck, and the decision hasn't been made. And when that happens, I'm going back out.
I think you're going back out.
I wasn't out there for a decoy. I was out there because I'm still in the game.
You would have had a very short leash, though. You'd have probably had someone up.
Keith,
you labored. You just battled through this.
Yeah, but Keith, what if Heap doesn't get to run in? You still got to hit for. I mean, Bobby's coming up with a runner on third. Then would he have been able to hit?
He might have pinched hit for him. He pinched hit for Ralph. But then you got your bench. You're going to use another guy off the bench.
Yeah.
I think he probably would. We will never know. But I think that he probably would have pinched hit.
Heaper had a good at bat there, man.
That was a really
hit
good
it right at him.
Yeah.
So we tied it up, huh?
Because when Dwight clanked that ball in right field while ready to get to third, that was huge. That play got lost, but that was a huge play. Yeah, he knows it. Dwight knows it. He's a stud. Good guy. Who else going to drive it in?
Clemens has got to be very careful.
Oh, good cut, Bobby O. Good cut.
But that train left the station around 10 minutes early.
Davey probably asked me, how do you feel? And I said, man, I feel great.
Yeah.
Lie, but you don't want to come out of game in a World Series. None of us here.
No.
It's a dream come true since we were little guys, and we're there. And you don't really process that at the moment, but all of us, you got to drag us out of that game.
Yeah. That's what I love about all of us, Bobby. You were a gamer, man. Our whole team was a gamer. Everybody wanted to be in. Everybody wanted to play.
Yeah.
It didn't matter for us. We just wanted to win. We got to the series here and lost the first 2 games. You think about that series we had against the Astros, man. We grinded, man. We were exhausted from that series. We played so well. But you just missed it right there, Bobby O. I have to give you that.
Why's that guy playing there?
Can we get Bobby O and Straw a show?
Hey,
They
in
were
the
playing
shift,
you the pull. Yeah,
Bobby,
they had a shift
but,
on you.
you know,
in a
Straw, you
shift,
make
in
a
a
good
shift
point.
that might have been a hit.
When I came over, and in the spring of '86, I felt after a couple weeks, this is a bunch of gamers that care about winning. It was only spring, and I don't mean to be disparaging against Boston, but it didn't have that vibe.
Really?
They wanted to win, but there was an edge on this '86 team that I'd never, ever felt in my life before or since that year. It was amazing, but it was we're here to win at all costs. And it was amazing for me because I went from, medium to off the charts gamers. It was awesome. It's like I got released into the wild. I'm like, man, I love it here.
And now it's Mets-tery Science Reunion 2020.
Hey, don't forget about it.